Well, good day, YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Albino Rhino Beer Review. My lineup is getting all messed up back here. That's because they're all open, and I don't want anything bad happening to them. We'll go with a pale ale next, shall we? So this is Blackburn's Monarch Pale Ale, and it says with orange rind, I think it says. I'm blind. I really should bring my, I have a magnifying glass that I don't like to admit that I have, and I really should bring it in here. 4.1% ABV. Your local craft community. Excuse me. As a caterpillar, Monarch was a simple collection of malt and hops. It became a cocoon to start intensifying its flavors and prepare for the transformation into a beautiful butterfly. It ended up a light-bodied and approachable pale ale with faint orange coloring, with hints of orange, grapefruit, and mosaic hops, offer interest and expression as they migrate across the tongue. Water, malted barley, hops, and yeast. The caterpillars that make Monarch butterflies, ugly as sin, but cool as hell at the same time. My ex-wife let my kids catch a whole bunch of them, and I was pissed off because they caught them and they kept them in a container, and they're not keeping them the proper way and all that. And if I remember correctly, it's actually not fully legal to do that. And I remember saying something to her, and she just did her usual, "You're a fucking idiot." But I mean, that's what I'm used to in that relationship, so it is what it is. I really like that Blackburn actually made this, the whole metamorphosis of the butterfly. I like that. That is, I used to love Cayman Kettle, how they had a rhyme for almost, a poem for almost every beer. I like this as well. That's really nice. I've been a pretty big fan of Blackburn without ever seeing them, without ever being there. My old stomping ground, Niagara Falls, and they don't usually blow me away with their beers, but their beers are so spot on to style that I'm usually a big fan. I wouldn't say that that's really an orange. They said like a hint of orange. Orange coloring. Faint orange coloring. I wouldn't even say faint orange coloring. That's bronze. Kind of goldy. Golden bronze. Bright white head. Little snap crackle pop. Slight bit of haze to it. Scent out of the can. Okay, I will give it that it orange and grapefruit do pop on the nose. I think my toes are turning color. Holy fuck, it's cold in here. Yeah, orange and grapefruit are just popping out of the can. Let's put the can back there where it belongs, shall we? And let's give the cup a sniff, shall we? Yeah. Basically the same smell. Lately, a lot of beers lately have been close to the same out of the glass and out of the can. Sometimes slightly more apparent or more in your face out of the can or out of the glass, but the smells have been pretty close to the same, and usually I don't get that. Maybe I got the COVID. No, I don't got the COVID. Though, today is January 1st as of yesterday. Nunavik has had over 1,000 cases in the span of like 2 months. One community had like over 50% of the community end up with COVID. We've had a couple deaths. We've had a lot of medical evacuations out of the region because there's 2 hospitals and there's some nursing stations, but none of them are set up for anything like that. But that being said, we were down to 5. We were down to 5 cases of COVID-19 at the beginning of the week, and I think we're back up to like 146 right now. So it's going up and down, but that's across all 14 communities, not just here in PUV. PUV only has 5 currently. So let's try the beer. Cheers. 4.1% alcohol, I do believe it was. This is a very approachable beer. It's hoppier than I would expect for a light ABV pale ale. And it's a little more bitter than I'd expect for a light ABV pale ale, because usually when I find a light ABV pale ale, unless it says session pale on it, when I find a lower ABV pale ale, they're usually fairly light in flavor and very approachable. Where session ones I find still have full flavor and wouldn't be approachable by everybody. Like, you wouldn't go into it being a Coors Light drinker and go, oh my god, I love this on your first sip. Usually some, I have had a few people that have done that, but so it's not something I expected to get hit with this much flavor. Orange. Beautiful orange flesh, like almost like a blood orange type of flavor going through. The bitterness is coming from what tastes like grapefruit rind and orange rind. I mean, I know there's orange rind in here, but I'm getting more of like an orange flesh taste and rind taste. The rind is just on the back of the tongue, and the more I talk, the more it comes. Like, it's there right now going, hi Chad, how are you? That's a solid little beer though. I mean, easy drinking, tastes fine. I can't complain about this beer. Well, I could, but why would I? I mean, I can complain about any beer if I really wanted to. I mean, I could complain about my favorite beer and make up things. But this is nice. This is solid. This is tasty. The bitterness makes it a moreish beer. Because every time you take a sip, excuse me, you wash that bitterness off the back of your palate. And then the bitterness like crawls back up your throat to the back of your tongue and has like a little party at the back of your tongue. Then you take another sip and you knock it all back down. Then it crawls back up and has another little party. So the beer is very moreish. It's very quaffable. I really like this beer. Out of 10 on this, I'm giving this a 7.75. I would buy this again. It's a solid beer. It's not the beer I would go to every single day, but it's a solid drinkable beer. And because of how much hoppiness is up to this, a lot of my friends would not steal this from me. So, for that, I'm happy. Cheers, guys.